Welcome back, everybody, to Magnolia on Money, where we discuss everything financial from the economy to retirement. I'm Forrest Riles of Magnolia Wealth, and today we're going to discuss cash investments. Now, cash investments is money that we have either in checking, in savings, in CDs, and this is money that we usually have earmarked for something 12 to 24 months out. This is money that we really don't want to invest, say, in the market that we may need in the next 12 to 24 months. So we don't want to assume any more risk. So let's look at where interest rates have been in the last 10 years relative to where they are today and some advantages that we can take of being in a high interest rate environment. Most of us have seen this graph or at least something like it, especially in the last, I'd say, year or two, because interest rates have increased so much. But let's look back at 2013. So in 10 years, in 2013, interest rates were very low. And they started to creep up over the years. And then COVID happened. Interest rates got dropped back down to zero. But as we know, of January of last year, the Fed came out and said, we are going to start raising interest rates. And that's when you start to see that big spike here in 2022, and it's not come down yet. So what we figure out is these cash investments that we base this curve off of right here is the cash investments have really not caught up as far as our checking, our savings, and even money market accounts. We know we can get better rate on CDs than we have in the past. But as far as just sitting there in savings, the interest rates have not caught up to this curve, and they're probably not going to. What we're going to look at right here is the average interest rate by account type. So this was as of August of this year. This is across the whole United States. This breaks it out by checking, savings, and money markets, and the average interest rate in each of those accounts. So first, let's start with checking. The average interest rate on checking account is 0.07, so it's not even a tenth of 1%. Next, we have savings, which is 0.46, so it's right there about 0.5%. And then money market, which usually in times of interest rate change is the first to fluctuate. So right now, money markets are averaging 0.59. So you're receiving a little bit more interest for putting it in a money market versus savings. Now, we have to look back and remember why exactly is this, that they're not rewarding the customers on checking or savings or the money market relative to the curve that we just saw where interest rates are up around 5 to 6%. We have to remember the banks are making their money on what we call margin. So they're giving you, let's say, 0.5% on your savings. And what they're doing with that money is they're turning around and either loaning it out, and interest rates right now on a car loan is 7 to 8% at the lowest, or they're going out and investing that money into something like a bond that has that high yield curve like we just saw for the 12-month treasury. So what they're doing is they're making money on margin. So they're not really incentivized on raising your interest rates in your savings account if you're just going to leave the money there anyway. But now that we've talked about percentage-wise, let's look at where's the actual dollar go. So let's follow the money. In this example, I'm going to use $50,000, and I'm going to say that we have it in a savings account right now. That's earning 0.5%. So after 365 days or 12 months, the interest on that is $250. Now, I know some people pay interest quarterly, monthly. I'm just using it on an annual amount. $50,000 at 0.5% is $250 in interest per year. Now, what I'm going to do right now is we're going to use that same $50,000 and we are going to put it in a CD or a money market account. I know with Charles Schwab right now, after fees, that we can get a 12-month CD for 5%. I know some banks have a little bit better than that, some have less, but for this example, I'm going to use 5%. Well, at 5%, $50,000 after 12 months is $2,500 in interest, or a $2,250 difference versus leaving it in the savings versus moving it to the CD or the money market. 12 months, $2,250 difference. So if you look back at the savings, if we were to leave that same $50,000 in there, earning 0.5% or $250 a year, it would take 10 years worth of interest in that savings account to add up to what 1 year's worth of interest on the CD would be. So as you can see, this starts eating away at your financial plan if we're just letting money sit in savings and not do anything for us. So we're not saying that it's not good to have money in checking or savings. What we're saying is if you don't have it earmarked for something in the next 12 to 24 months and you're not planning on using that money, or if you have excess amount of cash in your checking or savings, then be able to move it and create that interest difference that we just saw on the last slide. It starts eating away at your financial plan if we don't make moves like that. We know inflation last year was very high, so the least we can do is put it in a 12-month CD and at least start chipping away at some of that inflation. What we don't want to do is go broke safely. So we don't want to leave it in that savings, and over the years, inflation just eats away at it, and $50,000 is no longer $50,000. So I hope this helps you guys understand of why we're trying to look at making every dollar count. We're trying to earn that highest interest that we can, not assume any more risk, and still be FDIC insured. So thank you guys for joining me for Magnolia on Money this week. Look forward to seeing everyone next week.